Coach Drew.
Are you feeling stuck with emotions from the past? Are they spilling over into your everyday life? Well, this conversation with Pastor Mike Sherbino and I, we talk about emotional wholeness, some questions to ask yourself to move out of the past and on into the future, and a key strategy that I use to help me move through my own stuff. I mean, we've all got stuff. Check it out.
Andrew, I'm delighted you're with us today. We did a radio show about a couple months back, and I want you to talk to us today about emotional wholeness. And that's kind of a touchy-feeling thing for us as guys. Like, let's not go there. Let's just talk about basketball or hockey or...
But there's a lot of feelings generated about basketball and hockey.
Isn't it amazing when a team wins, how all the guys are hugging each other? It's like, man, they're married to each other and just going high. And when the game's over, then it's like, oh, stay away.
Back to normal.
Man, they're close. So taking all the experiences you've had, you've written an amazing book called The Art of a Genuine Apology. And I love that title. And I thought we could unpack what does it look like to be emotionally well as a psychotherapist when you talk to people, and also as a spiritual leader, because I know you deeply care for people in their spiritual walk with God. Is there a checklist? Is there things that I should be asking myself? Pick on me. I'll be the patient, okay? What should I be asking myself to determine, am I really a whole person, or is Mike a lot more fragmented than he cares to believe?
I think of us as human beings as a whole, as a unit, and the emotional part is just one part, but you see it present and it's relevant to all areas of our lives. So whether we're talking about spirituality, whether we're talking about relationships, we're talking about physical fitness, our emotions play into that. A healthy, emotionally healthy person is going to experience or be able to experience a full range of emotions.
I think that's sometimes the way we are as men and women. We're fearful to go through the checklist because in the back of our mind, there's stuff that's just been nagging away that just isn't right. So how do we go to our past so that we can truly live in the present?
Our pasts are with us. They're present with us, and it's about how we carry those things. The more intentional you are about what that is that you're carrying with you, helps you to carry it better and helps you to carry it differently. Most people can relate to not being accepted or being embarrassed or ashamed about something, but we have trouble getting over that first hump. And once we do, then you're in the arena to actually start experiencing change. Because most of us, we cope. We cope with our pain. We don't really work through it, and so we don't really experience change. And then that's what gets us stuck.
I want to jump to another area right away because in my mind, and I don't think you're going to differ, but to me, the greatest leader who ever lived was Jesus. A lot of times we think a leader is, macho. We got the machine gun, we got the javelin, depending on what era we're living in, or maybe the basketball. That's the idea of leader. And yet Jesus led by being a servant. What do you think about his leadership style and his range of emotions? How did he handle that?
As you read the scriptures, you see a full range of emotions. You see him weeping. You see him angry. You see him, very direct. You see him passive. You see all these different things in the scriptures. You see a full range of emotions, but you also see awareness. That's one of the indicators that I was talking about. But then you also see tolerance, his ability to tolerate those emotions, but then his ability to be intentional. And those are the three things that when I work with people, I think about that. Are you aware? Can you tolerate what it is that you're now aware of? And then can you be intentional with
What do
those
you think
things?
I need to be aware of?
Well, it's starters. What are you feeling? Okay. What are you feeling? Can you label that? Okay. You want to be aware of what you're feeling and when you're feeling it. Because some people, they're not aware, and they might be stuck feeling one particular thing, and that would cross all the domains of their life.
Why do we get stuck?
Why do we get stuck? Sometimes it's because of past hurts and issues that we haven't worked through.
Okay.
Sometimes it's our mindsets around growth, our cultural experiences with emotions. Sometimes we're programmed and conditioned not to experience certain things, so we don't allow ourselves, and then that could cause us to feel stuck. But most of us, we talk with our emotions. We're expressive. You would probably be able to guess what somebody's feeling by what they say, the looks on their face. But that whole awareness piece, they're not aware of what it is that they're feeling because they don't practice to label it. So there is that sense of vulnerability when we start to label those things and start to really understand what's that about. The experience of talking not just with our emotions, but talking about them, I think that's what helps us to move deeper in our awareness of what they are. So vulnerability, shame, embarrassment, weakness, powerlessness. These are not things that you want to talk about.
You're starting
who
to make
wants
me
to talk
squirm,
about
man.
it, right? But that's
Back off.
But that's what we experience
Okay.
so often, and those are the things that don't get mentioned. Those are the things that don't get seen.
You know, as I listen to you speak so articulately about this, I can presume that you've had to process stuff in your own life as well. Do you have a plan? Did you know how to put in a plan? Like, is there specific things that you do?
One of the things that I do on a pretty regular basis is journal. And I journal, and for me, journaling is a prayer, and I'm talking to God as I go through it. And I do it on maybe twice a day, but it helps me to identify what I'm feeling, emotion. I label that emotion because your emotions are different than your thoughts. And I identify the thoughts and the beliefs attached to that emotion. And then I can decide where it is I want to go from there. What do I want to do about this situation?
Okay, I want you to dumb that down for me, okay? And we'll do this as we're wrapping up today,
Right.
because one of the emotions that comes when we haven't dealt with all this stuff is anger.
Yeah.
I had to process, why do I don't show my anger, but I conceal it inside, and it hits me in different ways. So what would be a plan that you'd give to me to deal with anger that I keep inside?
Well, often anger is not the primary emotion. There's usually something under the anger.
Oh,
So when you stop and you think about what am I feeling, what else am I feeling besides anger? Is there anything else? I think that's an important question. If I were to be journaling right now, I'd be thinking, I had a good moment this morning, so I'll pretend it was a bad moment.
Okay.
And I'm angry and I'm frustrated with my daughter, who's 2, because she's not eating the breakfast that I made for her, and I'm running out of time. I'm running late, and it's all your fault, right? The 2-year-old. So if I were journaling about that, I would be thinking, okay, what am I feeling? I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling frustrated. And then I would say, well, what else am I feeling? Well, I'm actually feeling maybe a little powerless. Because this 2-year-old is running the show.
Right.
And I have this expectation. What do I believe? I believe she's supposed to do what I ask her to do when I ask her to do it. Because that's what a good father experiences.
Okay.
So, but if I'm believing that, you can see how problematic that is. Is that a realistic or fair belief? No. 2-year-olds do what they do.
They do what they do.
That's not a reflection of me as a father. But if I think I'm being a bad father because I don't have control over my 2-year-old daughter,
Right.
I'm really angry with myself. I'm really disappointed with myself. So although I might just be thinking it's anger, there's disappointment. As you can see from the experience that I shared, our emotions are often layered, and they're connected with our thoughts. I think it's really valuable to be able to manage ourselves in the present, but then by identifying how we feel, we can turn and then address the situations in the past. That's what we'll get into in the next video, the question that will help us make that connection. Until then, be sure to learn, heal, and grow. And remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to click that bell so you get notified when I post the next video next Thursday.